I'm Shelley. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the books that I acquired in January month. And first, I'll start off with a couple of the Book of the Month boxes. Technically, this one was December, this box, but I didn't get it until New Year's Eve, December 31st, because there was a delay because of postal strike here in Canada. So I'll share those two first. And then the rest will be from January. The first one is A Beautiful Ugly by Feeney. This one is a mystery thriller. I'm not sure if I mentioned this one. Well, I did mention this one because I said I was going to read this in January, and I did actually read this one already. And I'll just read the synopsis inside. Author Grady Green is having the worst, best day of his life. He calls his wife Abby to share some exciting news as she's driving home. He hears Abby slam on the brakes when she sees something in the road ahead. Over Grady's protest, Abby gets out of the car. When he eventually finds her car by the cliff edge, the headlights are on, the driver's door is open, her phone is still there, but his wife has disappeared. A year later, Grady is still overcome with grief and desperate to know what happened to Abby. He can't sleep and he can't write, so he travels to a tiny remote Scottish island to try to get his life back on track. And then he sees the impossible, a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. So I'll talk more about this one in my January reading wrap-up, I guess. The other book I got in the December Book of the Month box was The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Elle Carter. I was hoping to read this one in December, but where I didn't get it till the end of the year, I decided not to. I had other books that I wanted to read, so I'll just give you read the synopsis for this one. Knives Out gets a rom-com twist to this Rivals to Lovers Christmas romance mystery from best-selling author Elle Carter. So, the bridge is out, the phones are down, and the most famous mystery writer in the world just disappeared out of a locked room 3 days before Christmas. Meet Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the new queen of... Excuse me. Meet Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the new queen of the cozy mystery. He's Mr. Big-Time Thriller guy. She hates his guts. He thinks her name is Marcy, no matter how many times she's told him otherwise. And they both receive a cryptic invitation to attend a Christmas party at this English estate, and I guess it's maybe an enemies to lovers type story. So I guess I probably won't be reading this one until December, maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll pick it up through the year sometime. I'm not sure. My January Book of the Month box is, let's see, came with the booklet and the bookmark. Let's see, I'll take both of these out. The first one is The Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I think I've read one or two of her books before and enjoyed them. I think it might have been a YA book, I'm not sure. This one says, A Whirlwind Romance. All right, this one says, A Whirlwind Romance. When Theodore Scott met Connor, wealthy, charming, and a member of the powerful Dalton family, she fell in love in an instant. 6 months later, he's brought her to Idlewood, his family's isolated winter retreat, to win over his skeptical relatives. Stay away from Connor Dalton. Theo has tried to ignore the threatening messages on her phone, but she can't ignore the footprints in the snow outside the cabin window, or the strange sense of familiarity she has about this place. Then, in a disused cabin, Theo finds something impossible, a photo of herself as a child, a photo taken at Idlewood. I've been here before. Theo has almost no recollection of her earliest years, but now she begins to piece together the fragment of her memories and realizes she's in terrible danger. Someone here has a shocking secret that they will do anything to keep hidden, and discovering what happened at Idlewood may cost Theo everything. This book was in the box. It's an early release. Comes out February 4th. So right now it's January 31st. So I just finished a book last night, so I think I might start this one today and finish it over the weekend so I'll have it read before the actual release date. And also, I was lucky enough to get an early audiobook copy as well from NetGalley and through Macmillan Audio. So I'll be able to listen and read it over the weekend before it actually comes out. The other book in the January box is A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. And this one seemed very interesting to me. So, and I think I'm going to be reading this one in February as well. Another sip. Okay. This one says, James and Johnny Golden were once inseparable. For as long as she can remember, James shared an almost supernatural connection with her twin brother, Johnny, that went beyond intuition. She could feel what he was feeling. So when Johnny is killed in a tragic accident, James knows before her phone even rings that her brother is gone and that she's alone, truly alone, for the first time in her life. When James arrives in the secluded town of Six Rivers, California, to settle her brother's affairs, she's forced to revisit the ominous events of their shared past and finally face Micah, the only other person who knows their secrets and the only man she has ever loved. But as James delves deeper into Johnny's world, she realizes that their unique connection hasn't completely vanished. The more she immerses herself in his life, the more questions she has about the brother she thought she knew. Johnny was hiding something, and he's not the only one. The deeper she digs, the more she is compelled to unravel the truth behind the days leading up to Johnny's death. Ultimately, James must decide which truths should come to light and which are better left buried forever. So this one sounds like a really intriguing book to me, so I'm planning on picking this one up in February, actually. Let's see. There's 4 piles. I want to separate where I got them from. This one I've mentioned a few times already on my channel. Adrift and Current, Clean and Clear by Seanan McGuire. I've mentioned this in some of my other videos. And this was a book I pre-ordered months ago. I always pre-order this and get the latest book in this series. This is book number 10 in the Wayward Children series. And I got this one early in January it came out. And I also had the audiobook from NetGalley as well and listened to that. That's that one. Now I'll get that one from Indigo. And the next few books here I got from Book Outlet. I think this is first order I placed with them in probably a year, I'd say. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 7 here. The first one, More Days at the Morisake Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. And I believe this was translated from Japanese. I read this is the second book. The first one I read probably a year and a half ago. It was just called Days at the Morisake Bookshop. Eric Ozawa is the translator. Yes, translator for both books. So I'll just read the synopsis for the first book. Hidden in Boko, Tokyo, is a book lover's paradise. On a quiet corner in an old wooden building lies a shop filled with hundreds of second-hand books. 25-year-old Takeko has never liked reading, although the Morisake bookshop has been in her family for 3 generations. It is the pride and joy of her uncle Satoru, who has devoted his life to the bookshop since his wife Momoko left him 5 years earlier. When Takeko's boyfriend reveals he's marrying someone else, she reluctantly accepts her eccentric uncle's offer to live rent-free in the tiny room above the shop. Hoping to nurse her broken heart in peace, Takeko is surprised to encounter new worlds within the stacks of books lining the Morisake bookshop. As summer fades to autumn, Satoru and Takeko discover they have more in common than they first thought. The Morisake bookshop has something to teach them both about life, love, and the healing power of books. And I got that one from the ebook. I think it was an ebook from the library. And like I said, over a year ago, and I really liked the book. And it was short. Like this one's only 167 pages, so I mean you can read these books very quickly. And the second one is set in the same bookshop. It's set again in the beloved Japanese bookshop and a nearby coffee shop in the Jimboko neighborhood of Tokyo. And it deepens relationship among Takeko, or Uncle Satoru, and the people in their lives. So I guess it's probably people who comes into the bookshop. A new cast of heartwarming regulars have appeared in the shop, including an old man who wears the same ragged mouse-colored sweater, and another who collects books solely for the official stamps with the author's personal seal. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'm probably going to pick this one up in the next couple months for sure. It's a very short book. The next one is another book translated from the Japanese. The Cat Who Saved Books by Suzuki Natsukawa. I probably pronounced that very badly. And it's translated by Louise Heal Kawai. So Suzuki Natsukawa. I better stop. Okay. I think this is the first book in a series. I know it said in the description online it was book 1. So awkward teenager Rentaro is about to close the secondhand bookshop he inherited from his beloved grandfather. But before the bookshop's door closed for good, a talking cat suddenly appears with an unusual request: Rentaro's help. This mission sends them on a cross-dimensional journey to save books from abusive and negligent owners. From a businessman who leaves his books to perish on a shelf to a publishing drone who cares only about bestsellers. The adventures culminate in a final fantastic challenge, a labyrinth that leads Rentaro to a realm where a certain soul hangs in the balance. So I'm looking forward to reading that one this year too. This one is this one's less than just under 200 pages. So that one's a very short book as well. The next book is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness, which is the third book in the All Souls series. I think I spoke about the first book, in my last video. This is fantasy, romance, fiction, paranormal. There's magic, witches, vampires, and it's about a book that everybody is after, that it was in a library, and the main character seems to be able to find it. And she has to use her powers, which she didn't want to use all along, to find the book and keep it away from people, of course, will use it for no good. So the second book I read this past year in 2024, and it was one of my favorite books. So I'm planning on reading this one in the first half of the year for sure. The next one is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley, I've read a couple of her books before, and they're always lots of twists and turns in them. This one, I'll just read the back. It says, "Welcome to the opening weekend of the Manor, a luxury resort built on top of old secrets in an ancient forest. Founder, the husband, the mystery guest, the kitchen help. Everyone has an agenda, everyone has a past, but not everyone will survive." So, this one, I've been wanting to read this one for a while. I just never picked it up before, and I got it on Book Outlet. It was on sale. And the next one is Richard Osman, The Bullet That Missed. And this is the third book in the Thursday Murder Club series. I still haven't read the first two. I'm planning on reading the first one actually in the next few days. I got the audiobook from the library, and it's soon going to be out. So this will be one of my, Thursday Murder Club will be one of my first books in February to read. And that is third, so it's no point in reading about what happens here because it might spoil things for the first two books. The next one is Alice Feeney, Daisy Darker. Now, this one here. And this one, a few years after avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. Family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. Then at the stroke of midnight, as a storm rages, Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present mystery, as well as their past secrets before the tide goes out and all is revealed. With a wicked wink to Agatha Christie's And Then They Were None, Daisy Darker's unforgettable twist will leave readers reeling. So, of course, secluded island. And Then There Were None is one of my favorite, is probably my favorite Agatha Christie book, one of my favorite mystery books. So, I read this one sometime this year. It does seem interesting. I'm wondering what her twists are going to be for that one, because she does have interesting plot lines. And the last one I had from Book Outlet is Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaghy. I'm not sure. And she also wrote Migrations. I read that one maybe 2-3 years ago. And I really enjoyed that one. I thought her writing was really poetic and beautiful. So I saw this one was on sale on Book Outlet, so I decided to pick it up. And this one, Inti Flynn arrives in Scotland with her twin sister Aggie to lead a team of biologists tasked with reintroducing 14 grey wolves into the remote highlands. She hopes to heal not only the dying landscape, but Aggie too, unmade by the terrible secrets that drove the sisters out of Alaska. Inti is not the woman she once was either, changed by the harm she witnessed, inflicted by humans on both the wild and one another. Yet as the wolves surprise everyone by thriving, Inti begins to let her guard down, even opening herself up to the possibility of love. When a farmer is found dead, Inti knows where the town will lay blame. Unable to accept that her wolves could be responsible, Inti makes a reckless decision to protect them. But if the wolves didn't make the kill, then who did? And what will Inti do when the man she's falling for seems to be the main suspect? So that one does seem interesting. And let's see, I'll do Amazon. I don't normally buy books from Amazon, but I was given a $25 gift card for Christmas, so I decided to pick up David Robertson's latest book. This is nonfiction. It's called All the Little Monsters, How I Learned to Live with Anxiety. And I read a few of his books. I've read his, we've had graphic novels, kids' books. adult books, and I've read a few of his books. He's a Canadian Indigenous author, and I've enjoyed the other books he had out, and I thought I would pick up this one. I guess it's more, I'll just read the synopsis here. Award-winning author David A. Robertson explores the struggles and small victories of living with chronic anxiety and depression, and shares his hard-earned wisdom in the hope of making other people's mental health journeys a little less lonely. From the outside, David A. Robertson books looks as if he has it all together, but what we see on the outside rarely reveals what is happening inside. Robertson lives with little monsters, chronic, debilitating health anxiety, and panic attacks accompanied at times by depression. During the worst periods, he finds getting out of bed to walk down the hall an insurmountable task. During the better times, he wrestles with the compulsion to scan his body for that sure sign of a dire health crisis. In All the Little Monsters, Robertson reveals that what it's like to live inside his mind and body, and the toll it takes on him and his family. He also writes about the tools that have helped him carry on, including community therapy, medication, and the simple question he asks himself on repeat: what if everything will be okay? In candidly sharing his personal story and showing that he can be well even if he can't be cured, Robertson hopes to help others on their own mental health journeys. So I wanted to pick this one up because I think mental health is important, just as important as your physical health. And so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Now, there's a couple of books I got from a secondhand bookstore near in town near where I live. And I picked up a couple more of the Temperance Brand series. So I just finished book four, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I gotta have to look this one up again. I keep forgetting where I am in the series. Let me see. All right. Yes, I just finished book 4. And I had book 5, and this is books 6 and 7 in the series. 6 is Bare Bones. And 7 is Monday Mourning. So I'm sure I've mentioned Temperance Brennan books before in my videos, and Temperance Brennan is a forensic anthropologist in both North Carolina and Quebec. And Kathy Reichs was also a forensics anthropologist, and I think she still does help out. Because in the book I just read, there was a team, DMORT team. I'm not sure if she's still on, actively part of that team, but she was, like, whenever there are disasters and bodies need to be identified, she does, or she did. I'm not sure if she still does do that. And that's those, and there's actually a couple more I did get. I got the audiobook for Killing Cold, and 2 other books I also got from NetGalley and Macmillan Audio. I got Charlotte McConaghy's newest book, which is Wild Dark Shore. And this one comes out March 4th. Excuse me. I'll just read the synopsis here. And this one says, a family on a remote island, a mysterious woman washed ashore, a rising storm on the horizon. Dominic Salt and the 3 children are caretakers of Shearwater, a tiny island not far from Antarctica, home to the world's largest seed bank. Shearwater was once full of researchers, but with the sea levels rising, the salts are now its final inhabitants, packing up the seeds before they are transported to safer ground. Despite the wild beauty of life here, isolation has taken its toll on the salts. Raph, 18 and suffering his first heartbreak, can only find relief at his punching bag. Finn, 17, has started spending her nights on the beach among the seals. 9-year-old Orly, obsessed with botany, fears the loss of his beloved natural world. And Dominic can't stop turning back towards the past and the loss that drove the family to Shearwater in the first place. Then, during the worst storm the island has ever seen, a woman washes up on shore. As the salts nurse the woman, Rowan, back to life, their suspicion gives way to affection, and they finally begin to feel like a family again. Rowan, long accustomed to protecting her heart, begins to fall for the salts too, but Rowan isn't telling the whole truth about why she set out for Shearwater. And when she discovers the sabotage radios in a freshly dug grave, she realizes Dominic is keeping his own dark secrets. As the storms in Shearwater gather force, the characters must decide if they can trust each other enough to protect the precious seeds in their care before it's too late, and if they can finally put the tragedies of the past behind them to create something new together. So this one sounds like a really intriguing mystery thriller. Like I said, I enjoyed Charlotte's for her other book, Migrations, and all her books seem to be based around different types of nature, so which really interests me as well. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to read the book. So I'm looking forward to listening to this one before the actual book comes out in March. And the last one,
Chapter 1,
for this last book I acquired is another audiobook from NetGalley, Macmillan Audio as well, and it is the 5th book in the Finlay Donovan series. Finlay Donovan digs her own grave, and I already pre-ordered the physical book, and I'm looking forward to being able to listen to this one before the actual book comes out in March, because I pre-ordered it. So as you can see, the video just cut off when I was almost at the end finished video. So I'll just quickly mention the Finlay Donovan Digs Her Own Grave by Elle Cosimano. It's the 5th book in the Finlay Donovan series. It's a cozy mystery, humor. Finlay and her nanny / partner in crime, Vero, get up to all sorts of hijinks and don't always make the best decisions, and ends up in hilarious situations. So in the 5th book, her neighbor across the road, her elderly neighbor, who is the community busybody and president of Neighborhood Watch, body is found in her backyard. So Finlay and Vero get involved with that, I'm assuming. So I'm looking forward to listening to that one in February before the book comes out March 4th. And that was the last book I had to talk about that I acquired in January. So if you've read any of these, any of the ones that have been out a while, you can let me know if you've read them or not. Or if there's any that you're looking forward to reading yourself, you can comment down below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you with another video soon. Bye.